How far would society have progressed if everybody worked alone? You may guess not very far. Although working alone is sometimes necessary, usually one sure way to make the work go better is to get help and feedback from other people. In academic life, people often work together. For example, researchers in science work together on projects, in the laboratory, and in the field. That interaction leads to new ideas and successful projects. The final stages of research involve writing up the findings to share with other people in the scientific and academic community. Researchers often present their findings at conferences too. At every step of this process, working with others is essential. You may have thought, though, that people usually write essays and research reports alone. They do, but they also get feedback from their peers. Your peers are people similar to you, your colleagues, fellow researchers, other students. That feedback might be formal or informal, and it can come at various stages in the writing process. One of those stages is called peer review. As the name suggests, during peer review, a writer's paper is reviewed by one of the writer's peers to help make it better. Peer review is an essential part of the writing process. After getting feedback from the peer, the writer can think again and then rewrite and modify the original to make it more effective. So we know that peer review is an integral part of academic life. Let's follow two students, Rika and Koichi, as they peer review the text they've prepared for homework for their English writing class. In the class, they've been studying academic style and paragraph structure. The homework was to research a topic that they are interested in and write a paragraph about it in an academic style. Here's how to do peer review. The students first swap their papers with each other. Then they read through them without stopping. This gives them an impression of the paragraph. After reading once, Rika takes up her pen and starts making notes on Koichi's paper. She circles or underlines words and phrases, and she writes short comments to help Koichi develop his work. Next, Rika explains some of her comments to Koichi, who responds with his own ideas. They also discuss how the paragraph could be changed. Both Rika and Koichi offer suggestions for improving the paragraph. Koichi makes more notes on the text. Now let's have a look at Rika's comments. Rika thinks that some of the content of Koichi's paragraph is good. It has a definition of global warming and an explanation. It contains some detail and tells us about some of global warming's causes and effects. But Rika also notices that some of the sentences contain quite specific facts. She wonders where Koichi got the information. She knows that there should be a citation, something that mentions where the information came from, so that the readers can check it for themselves. Next, Rika has made a note by the first two lines. She has drawn a circular arrow and written "change sentence order." She thinks that the paragraph makes better sense if the second sentence is moved to the beginning. A paragraph often begins with a topic sentence, which gives a general indication of the subject of the paragraph. The topic sentence is then followed by something more specific. Rika thinks that Koichi's second sentence would be a better topic sentence, and the first sentence would be a better example. Then Rika points out some grammar issues to Koichi. She has marked them, writing possible changes above. Rika thinks atmosphere might be a more appropriate word than air. She thinks that go up should be a noun instead of a verb, so she circles it. She also thinks that a word such as increase or rise would make the sentence sound more formal. Rika notices that some sentences seem a little personal. They seem to be Koichi's opinion about how serious global warming is, rather than an objective account based on evidence. The final sentence seems to offer a personal opinion. Rika thinks that neither of these is necessary or appropriate. However, she suggests that some personal opinions can be rewritten in a more academic way. Next, Rika points out that the text should be justified and that a different font would be better. After Rika and Koichi have talked about the paper, they explain some of the comments to the teacher. All three of them discuss the paper together. They talk about what might need to be revised, and they suggest further changes. This is a constructive process, and it reinforces what Rika and Koichi have learned about academic writing. When class ends, Koichi now has lots of feedback and ideas. He spends some time just thinking before he starts working on the text again. He agrees with some of Rika's and the teacher's suggestions, but he has also had time to think and reflect again himself, and to consider his text objectively. Eventually, Koichi is happy with his paragraph. In class, the teacher asks him to explain how his first draft and final text are different. They put both texts on the table. Koichi explains how the two texts are different and why he made the changes. For example, in one sentence, Koichi added more specific details about how much hotter the Earth has become, and he added a citation showing where he got that information. He also added references giving details of the books he read. In the last sentence, Koichi had written that everyone knew that people were to blame for global warming, but he thought this was too general and that saying everyone knows is not really true. Also, the book he read said some scientists don't agree, so he revised his sentence again and added a citation and reference. In this way, Koichi kept most of his earlier ideas. But with Rika's help, and after discussing his writing with his teacher, he was able to expand his ideas and make them more precise and appropriate for academic writing. The teacher can see how Koichi's text has improved. But not only that, by doing peer review and talking about his text with Rika, Koichi now better understands paragraph structure, academic style, and the writing process. And although we didn't look at Rika's text or Koichi's peer review of it, doing the peer review gave Rika lots of ideas too, and helped her to improve her own writing as well. So, when it comes to writing, what can peer review do for you? There are many benefits for you when you're the writer. You think what you've written is clear, but does it actually make sense to the reader? Is it really interesting? Does the information come in a logical order? Is there enough information, too much, or too little? What information did you assume your reader knew? Is your text too complex, too simple, or just right? Whenever you communicate, you need to consider your audience. Peer review gives you that audience while you are still writing, so you can adjust your writing to the appropriate content and level. When we write, it is often difficult for us to spot our own mistakes in spelling, grammar, and formatting. We only see what we think we have written, so it is valuable to have a second pair of eyes to check what we have done. Receiving feedback and talking about it also helps you refine your ideas and generate new ones, so your text will become even more effective. However, as we've seen, peer review also benefits the reviewer. Reading other people's texts exposes you to more styles of writing and argument, and to someone else's choice of vocabulary and grammar. This is a good thing, whether you are writing in your first or second language. When you peer review other people's writing and give helpful comments, you also increase your own critical awareness of texts. You become more sensitive to the importance of linguistic, organizational, and rhetorical features at a variety of levels. By peer reviewing other people's work, you learn from both their good examples and their problems. By engaging with text critically through peer review, we improve our own writing and become better at self-review and reflection. Learning to do peer review is a vital skill for learning how to write effectively, not just in the university, but in many walks of life. It reflects the real social nature of writing and of working. While peer review may seem strange at first, after a while it will become second nature, a normal part of writing both in university and in your future career.